morning. It is May 6th and I'm back at the beach for section 3 of the Oregoncoasttrail. I'm in Oceanside right now and I'm about to do about 15 miles today. So one of the coolest parts about Oceanside is that there's this tunnel that goes right through the cape. It was built by a family in the early to mid 1900s. The family owned a resort here in Oceanside, so they wanted their guests to be able to access more beach. So they built this tunnel, but the only way that you can get over there otherwise is when the tide is really, really low. You can make it around the cape, but that's pretty rare. So they built this tunnel. At one point there was a rock slide, so it blocked the far entrance of the tunnel, so you couldn't get through. And in the mid-90s, they cleared the rocks, and now you can go through to Tunnel Beach on the other side. Bandit and I are heading south. We have about 2.5 miles before we get to Netarts Bay, where Darren is going to meet us. It's a beautiful morning. It's actually sunnier than I thought it would be, so that's nice. And yeah, looking forward to today. So I don't think I've explained this yet, but the reason that I didn't start back at Cape Meares Lighthouse is because basically from that point there's about a 2 or 3 mile road walk to get from the top of Cape Meares to Oceanside Beach, where I am right now. Since I'm just section hiking, I'd rather spend my time walking on trails or on the beach instead of on kind of a busy road. So a lot of those road walks that are technically gap sections in the trail anyways, I'm getting shuttled around. So you can see Cape Lookout in the distance. If only there was a way to cross over just right there to the Netarts split. You just continue walking on the beach. But unfortunately, there really isn't a way to get across there safely. So we're gonna walk kind of around the bay for a little bit until we get to the boat ramp. And that's where Darren's gonna meet us. And then we're gonna drive around another road walk. We've got wet shoes and socks. We made it across, but had to sacrifice dry feet. That's okay. So I am at the Cape Lookout Trail parking lot. If you watched my last video of me hiking to the end of Cape Lookout and back, this is the same parking lot. The Oregoncoasttrail, it technically goes from Cape Lookout Skate Park down there a couple miles, but the trail is closed. So wasn't able to do those like 2 or so miles. It's okay, we're gonna go this way. But instead of taking the Cape Trail this time, we're going to take the South Trail. The South Cape Trail is about 1.8 miles. And it leads down to the beach, and then from there we're gonna hike a little less than 3 more miles to the Sand Lake outlet. And we're not going to be able to cross that again, so Darren's going to meet us there and then give us a ride around Sand Lake. Yeah, that's kind of the next little section for the day. So I've hiked this trail one other time. It's probably about 5 years ago now, but I just remember really loving the beach at the bottom. It was really secluded. There was only like a couple other people, and I was able to find the tiniest little sand dollar. It was so cute, and it was one of the very first full sand dollars that I'd ever found. So we'll see if we can't find another one today. Okay, go on. Oh boy. Look at these cute tiny little pink flowers. So I took a picture of one of those flowers. Let's see if we can identify it. It says it's salmonberry. First little view of the beach below. So we're headed towards Sand Lake, which is a really popular place for people to ride their ATVs and dirt bikes. You may see in here some four-wheelers and things like that. Oh my gosh, guess what? You know how I said I wanted to find a whole sand dollar? Look! Look at that! So cool! So we are at the outlet of Sand Lake into the ocean. It is pretty much uncrossable because tide is high right now, unfortunately. So we're gonna go over towards Sand Lake Campground and get in the car and drive around. Like you can see Cape Kiwanda over there. That's where we're headed. So for lunch today, we've got just a turkey sub sandwich that I got at the grocery store yesterday. Literally just bread and turkey was on there, and I put a piece of cheese, and the secret is Chick-fil-A sauce. So excited. Also got some strawberries. On the beach, nice breeze, beautiful sunshine, sound of the ocean. How can we complain? We've got a couple miles until we get to Cape Kiwanda. There's a big sand dune that we have to climb up and over. getting closer to the bottom of the dune. Once we get there, we get the joy of climbing up and over it. It's gonna be quite fun. I'm over 13 miles in for the day. So I think only like 3 or 4 miles left. It's about 6:45. We've been at camp since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I got done hiking about 15.5 miles today, and we set up camp. Been hanging out. We went and had dinner at the Pelican Brewery. It was really nice, fun time, and we got to have a view of the beach while we were eating outside. Bandit came with us, and he was so tired that he just basically laid there, sat there the whole time, and was a really good boy. I just wanted to kind of talk about my highs and lows for the day. I think my rose, or my high, was Darren was here supporting me all day long, meeting me at different stops. I think a low would be the wind. It was pretty windy today, and especially at the top of Cape Kiwanda. Yeah, overall, a really good day. We're about to start a fire, hang out a little bit more before we go to sleep. But yeah, this might be my last video for tonight. If so, catch you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. Today is day 7 of hiking the Oregoncoasttrail. We camped last night at Cape Kiwanda at the RV park there. Packed up camp this morning and drove to Winema Beach. There's another lovely road walk between Pacific City and here, so got a ride on that portion of the trail. I have about 3.5 miles to get to Proposal Rock in Muscoan, where I'm going to meet up with Darren again. So Bandit and I are going to get going. Wet feet first thing in the morning. Not. Oh, yep. Got in the toes. Oh! Taking a little break so Bandit can dig a hole. You digging? What's down there? Oh. Okay, we're done. One of the things that I've really enjoyed so far about hiking the Oregoncoasttrail is that I'm hiking on a lot of beaches that I've never been to before. Like, even though I've lived in Oregon my whole life. I haven't been to every beach, and just finding some of these lesser known places that are more secluded has been really fun. Like this beach, perfect example. There's hardly anyone here, and it's just so nice to kind of feel like you have the beach to yourself for a little bit. We're almost to the end of the beach in Niskowen. That's Proposal Rock right there, and behind it is Cascade Head. The next little section today is going to be a 6-mile hike kind of over and through Cascade Head, so it's going to be back on trail. I'm really excited for that. So once we make it to the end of the beach here, I'm meeting Darren at Niskowen Trading Company. I think it's a little market deli kind of place. Might have some breakfast there. I'm pretty hungry. Yeah. Oh, almost gone 3 miles so far today. And feeling pretty good. Well, hello, stranger. That's the trail. Just had to cross that. Looks like this tree kind of took the trail out here. We got by just fine. We're still going. Tree's got a couple really big mushrooms on it. Coming up to another area where the trail looks pretty washed out. Let's see how to get through this one. Easy bandits. Look at these mushrooms. Look at those. A lot of the comments on all trails for this hike say that it's boring because there's no views. But there's a view. Look at that. I think we've made it up all the elevation. Gone up about 1,200 feet. The trail seems to be going downhill now, so that's nice. Found the marker. We're going this way, 3.5 or 3.7 miles. Till we see Darren again. So, I have hiked 100 miles of the Oregoncoasttrail. Ah! I'd hiked 76 miles in the previous two sections, 15 and a half yesterday, and we just hit 8.5 today. So it's 100 miles on this trail. I'm so excited. I made it to the south end of the Rainforest Trail. Darren was here waiting for me. Again, another road walk that I'm not doing. Darren's gonna drive me just a couple miles to Rhodes End State Recreation Area in Lincoln City. So yeah, check in when we get there. Alright, so we are at Rhodes End State Recreation Area in Lincoln City. We got a little sidetracked on the way here, and we went to lunch at McMenamin's. So it took a little bit longer than expected. I have 6 miles left today to get to the end of Lincoln City at the Netarts Bay. So I'm gonna try to run these 6 miles just so I can get them done a little bit faster and we can get home. We got a tired puppy and a tired husband, so let's get after it. One mile down, five and a half to go. It's starting to rain. It's not that bad though, just sprinkling right now. About 4 miles in. That one was a little rough because I had to get my feet soaking wet crossing the river right before this mile or so. And so my feet are wet. And my stomach hurts, but keep pushing on. So I'm 6 miles in. I think I only have about a half a mile just to get back to the car. Made it to the Netarts Bay. I've hiked 16.1 miles today. Hi, buddy. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a bunch of seals over there. Oh, they're poking their heads up.